Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to be breaking down how you can create incredible interview video for your business, doing things like interview testimonials, mission statement videos, really high quality with just a few phones. All right, so just to jump right into it, so let's lay the groundwork. So I have two phones here and I'm using a professional audio setup. It's very simple, and I'm gonna screen share some microphones that you could use. So you could take your two phones for cameras, one phone for a mic, and simply buy a $70 Rode lav mic off of the internet, plug it in, open up voice recordings or voice memo, put it in your pocket, set it up like I have, and just talk, sync everything in post. So we'll talk about that last. Let's talk about the camera setup to begin with. So over here, I've started to set up my camera. So just to break everything down, to be super transparent, and if you hear a bunch of moving around and stuff, it's because that little guy on the ground is little coat of the German Shepherd's kind of running around. But with that being said, I have an iPhone 10 here. This will work with iPhone 6s, 7s, the iPhone 8, iPhone 10, whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's a 6 and up, you're gonna be good. So I basically have the phone mounted on like a $25 phone mount, tripod mount from Amazon, and then a like $25 light stand. Now I have tripods, but light stands are even easier in my opinion because it doesn't take, needing to mess with a bunch of knobs and stuff like that. But if you wanted to pick up a little $100 tripod, this phone mount would mount onto the tripod as well if you want to go the routes. But I just have these two light stands here. So my first camera is set up. The second camera, I don't even have a mount, so I'm just going to literally tape it to the actual stand here to really break this down. So let's get started really quickly here. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn on my phone here, and I've set the phone for 4K recording at 24 frames. All right, cool, here we go. So I'm on video now. Awesome, so just back up just a little bit here. I'll show you how I have this set up. So I have my stool here, and this could literally be any area that you are in. I'm using a window for my light. If you don't have a window and you want to use a light, you can pick up a $50 light off Amazon. They're super cheap. I'll leave a description, a link for that as well, and probably throw it up on the screen here somewhere. But I've set my stool so that I'm almost right next to the window, so I get a bunch of light on me. And I've set my camera up so that when I sit down, you'll see the light fall across one side of my face. And what I'm gonna do to get my framing right is I'm just gonna hit record on my phone after I kind of look and see where the stool is. I'm gonna hit record. Now I'm gonna come here and sit down. Now I'm gonna aim myself so I'm just slightly off center from the actual camera that's recording me. So I'm going to look forward as if I was being interviewed by a random person. And at the very end of this, I'll show you what it looks like if you wanna look directly at camera, but a lot of interviews are off. So I'm gonna just look off camera. Great, now I'm gonna go and stop my recording, and I'm gonna look back at that to make sure that my framing looks good. So I'm looking back at this now. Framing looks pretty good. There's a little bit of space above my head, and I'll show this on screen. So all I'm gonna do to fix that is just bring the camera down a little bit. So I'll go back to my camera, bring it down a little bit to get rid of some of that space. Hit record again. Go back and sit as if I was delivering. This should be fine. Let me see what that looks like. Perfect, but the headspace is great. So this is all set up now, and just to break down, you're seeing this on screen, the actual screenshot of how I framed it. I always want to be sitting on the opposite side from where the direction I'm looking is. And the reason is just because we call it the rule of thirds. I want a lot of space in the frames for where I'm looking. I don't want to be looking this way and have all my space behind me. I want to be looking this way, have all my space this way. It's just a basic rule that we utilize. So that's kind of how the framing goes. So this camera is all set. Now, if we just wanted to run one camera, we could very easily just use that. It's set up, we can get two angles out of it, and I'll show that right now. We have a wide angle from that camera, then if we crop in, we can get a second angle and use that back and forth. All right, so that's our first camera being set up. And again, it's literally on a $25 light stand, $20 phone mount, and we've positioned it the right way by simply hitting record, framing it, and I've already explained what kind of framing to look for when we're looking off camera, sitting down, and then either adjusting up or down, left or right for where we want to place ourselves correctly in that frame. Now I've already set up the second camera, literally with tape and a $25 light stand. There is no excuse for you guys not to be able to do this right now. So what I did here is I wanted a second angle that's a little bit closer than this wide angle here. So I've gone in and set this up. I might not even use this angle, but it's always good to have that second angle. It adds a little bit more quality to it. I can make this a wide angle shot if I wanted to. You can buy a clip-on lens that goes right over the actual camera itself. Those are pretty cool. But that just being said, I'm gonna use this as my second close angle. I've already done the hit record, go sit down and adjust, so it should be good to go. So what I'm gonna do now is sit down and record. Now again, the only other piece is audio. So with a third phone, we could simply use either a Rode Lav mic or a Bluetooth mic we could throw on and just record our voice through voice memo. We could literally just record. So you could use like a Rode mic that plugs directly into an iPhone 6 that has a headphone jack, or if you're on Android or Google phone, have a headphone jack, you could use that, or a Bluetooth mic. You could even use the Apple EarPods. Hey guys, this is an example of what a couple earbuds audio would sound like. Again, much better than a camera that's 5 feet away from you. You know, if you wanted to place those on and just talk and hit the voice memo on your third phone and just record that. 3 different phones, you have your 2 cameras. You could even just use 2 phones if you wanted to, with 1 camera and 1 recording your audio. And the reason is because audio off the camera, as I'll show you, isn't good. That's recording me, so I'm going to look forward as if I was being interviewed by. I'll show you what it looks like if you want to look directly at camera, but a lot of interviews are. We really want good crystal clear audio. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna hit the record button on these, and I'm gonna just basically go through a quick 30-second demo of what this can look like. I started my company because I really saw the need that business owners had to understand how content and digital marketing strategy work together in order to create results. See, there's a lot of people out there that flood the market with advertisements to business owners, especially in the e-commerce space, that advertise these massive returns and advertise this simple system that they have to grow, and they're not really telling the whole story. It's not easy. Those results are not common. And I want to talk about common results for realistic expectations for growth over 12 to 18 months. Without a digital marketing strategy, your growth is going to take exponentially longer. With a digital marketing strategy, you could potentially be able to expedite your growth in the right way and see a return after maybe 6, 8, 9, 12 months, 18 maybe at the most. But you have to be doing the right things in order to achieve that. And if you aren't, then you're kind of lost in the ocean without a real beacon of light to know where to go. And that's why I started the business that I started, was to be able to help business owners in the e-commerce space really understand what real results look like and real expectations when it comes to pairing content, which is extremely important today and is the variable today, and digital marketing strategy for real results. All right, so that is it. I used 2 iPhones and set myself up in the right place in a room with no lighting or anything to get an incredible result that is absolutely acceptable and high quality enough to really grab attention. Now, if you need to shoot B-roll, like you probably saw in that interview, it's very simple. We actually use the phones, these iPhones, to shoot all of that B-roll. I set my iPhone's camera settings to 1080 at 120 frames, and had you could have a coworker, a partner, a friend, just basically take some action shots of you with a lot of movement. If you're sitting behind a laptop or going about doing your job, just have them follow you, have them really moving around and creating motion, because in slow motion, it looks really good. So hopefully this has been eye-opening to you. We really need you to use this strategy, because there is no excuse for not having great quality top of content. This can be transitioned into a whole host of different creative ideas. You don't just have to do mission statement videos. You can do review videos. You can do, you know, more cinematic, more like narrative-based stuff if you get into that kind of stuff. But at the very least, there should be no excuse for you to be able to shoot content and make it look absolutely incredible with simply 2 phones. That's it.